Join the Town of Marana Parks and Recreation Department for an exhilarating free National Trails Day nighttime hike. We present 2 enticing hiking options to suit varying preferences. Lace up your hiking boots and embark on a memorable nocturnal adventure with us. For more information, visit maranaz.gov/recreation.
Get ready to brush up on your art skills at our monthly adult and teen edition paint nights in the park. Our sessions are led by instructors who will guide you step by step to unlock your hidden talent. Whether you're a seasoned painter or just dipping your brush into the arts, our paint nights are the ultimate canvas for creativity and connection. Don't miss out on the next event. Check out our website for all the colorful details, including dates and locations at maranaz.gov/recreation.
Welcome to Real Talk with the Town, where I sit down with the Marana staff to answer your burning questions about our beautiful community. My name is Terry Rozema, and I'm the town manager for the town, so let's get started. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Real Talk with the Town. My name is Terry, and I am your host, and today we're going to be talking about Marana Unified School District, and who better to have in the studio talking with us than the head of Marana Unified School District, our very own Dr. Dan Streeter. Dan, so good to have you back in the studio with us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah, so we got a few questions that have been coming in lately about the schools, but before we get to that, you've been attending a class lately. And we are actually classmates in this class. Tell me a little bit about Impact Marana.
Yeah, Impact Marana, Class 1.
We are the very first.
The inaugural Impact Marana class. Big shout out to Amanda Wiggins, the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, for putting together this incredible leadership program. And I think you would say the same thing. I mean, we've had some really dynamic days where we've gotten out into the community, learned about a lot of different sectors and things that are happening around Marana.
Yeah. Well, you did kind of ding me a little bit on my attendance record.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
You're kind. I'll bring it up myself. I did miss a couple of classes, but it was for good reasons. But I did enjoy it. We got to go out there, and I think Amanda worked with a lot of different people over the course of, I don't know how many weeks it was, months that we did that. But a lot of great information, and it was fun to build those relationships with the people that were in the class too.
Yeah, you create just those connections with your cohort. 7 months, 1 day a month.
Right.
I would certainly enthusiastically recommend this opportunity to any listener out there that's interested in learning more about Marana. Reach out to the Chamber and be a part of Class 2.
Oh, that sounded like an awesome recruiting promo
endorsement.
right there. Yeah, right on. Well, I would agree with you. Absolutely. I hope she gets a lot of interest in that. But let's turn our attention now to the school district. And we've gotten a few questions, and these come in every once in a while about the school district. I think some people confuse the town of Marana with the school district, and they're two totally separate things, right? But people want to know about what are the plans for Marana Unified School District relative to specifically when's Gladden Farms Elementary, the new Gladden Farms Elementary School, going to be coming online?
Yeah, well, a couple of great points in there. First of all, I think that confusion is it's probably fair, right? What's kind of unique in this community is that the Marana Unified School District, our boundaries are pretty close to the town's boundaries. So we are the community school district. You know, you can get into some parts of Pima County or around the state of Arizona where in one municipality you have 3 or 4 different school districts serving those families. We're pretty unique in that the Marana Unified School District is the community school district for Marana. So it's kind of a cool part to being a part of this community. And it's also May, right? We're at the end of the school year. We call it the 100 days of May.
Because it feels like 100 days.
It feels like 100 days right now.
I don't think I've ever heard that before, but my daughter just became a teacher. She can relate to that.
She'll know. Just ask her. But it's that time of year, it's the celebrations, right? We're honors and awards and graduations and promotions. It's a fun time to work in education. two tremendous comprehensive high schools in Mountain View and Marana High School, both senior classes. Gosh, I think Marana High School seniors have earned about $9 million in scholarships.
Wow.
And counting. Mountain View is about $8 million in scholarships and counting. And then our students at MCAT, just the number of industry certifications that they're earning and getting ready to walk across that stage and out into our community as a part of the workforce is pretty exciting. So May is a time for celebrations, but let me kick it back.
That is impressive. I want to talk about that $9 million. Any chance that any of the students would want to donate toward an interchange that we're trying to build?
Yeah, I could talk to you. There's a couple of them that you're really upsetting my transportation routes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is impressive. $9 million.
It's I tell you what.
And you guys just had an incredible award ceremony, the 2340 awards and excellence for the schools. Can you talk about that real briefly?
Yeah,
I think that is such an amazing program.
So the 2340 Foundation, that's the foundation that supports the school district, and of course 2340. That stands for the number of days that a student is in school, kindergarten through graduation day. Hence the name 2340.
So somebody like me, it's going to be like 1950 or something like that because of my poor attendance.
Your attendance, but the days that it took you to graduate was probably closer to 2670, maybe. That's where I was thinking.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
But the 2340 Foundation every year does the Celebration of Excellence luncheon, and I know that the town is always a big a part of that event where we get to recognize our teacher of the year, our administrator of the year, support staff member of the year, and then we award scholarships, 2340 students, those students that have been in Marana kindergarten through 12th grade. And so we are able to recognize students from Mountain View, Marana High School, and MCAT. So another great event this year, and we're already looking forward to next year and getting that planning started.
Excellent. So we started to turn our attention to Gladden Farms, the new Gladden Farms Elementary. So let's talk about that because I think you got some good news here.
Yeah, we're fortunate in Marana. This is a growing community, right? And so when we talk about challenges of the school district, our biggest challenge is handling growth. And that's unique. There's a lot of school districts in the area and a lot of school districts around the state of Arizona that are talking about contraction, not about growth. So that's a good problem to have. And we are in the process of looking specifically in this North Marana area of how we are going to accommodate the number of new students moving into the area, in addition to the number of students that we already have in the area. Quite frankly, when you look at the elementary level, Estes Elementary and Gladden Farms, those are two elementary schools that serve the North Marana area, and they're both full. In fact, we had to add 6 classrooms at Gladden Farms this year to accommodate the enrollment there.
Wow.
So
what do you attribute? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what do you attribute the success of MUSD? Now, certainly we're in a growth community, but it's got to be more than that.
Right. So it's two things, right? One is growth, of course, but two is the quality of education that we can offer our students.
Right on.
And when you think about Marana, we really talk about 3 things. One, it's student achievement, right? Doing great things for kids with regards to the traditional reading, writing, and arithmetic, if you will. But then we also talk about opportunities. And that's really what sets Marana apart, is just the different opportunities that we provide to students, whether it's career and technical education at the high school level, our gifted education, elementary music, our 21st century after school clubs, just the number of different opportunities that we offer our students. And the third thing that we talk about is, what are the quality of those opportunities?
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to offer a bunch of career and technical education classes, but if they're not leading to industry certifications, then what are we doing?
Right.
So now you start talking about...
So you're preparing kids for the future.
With a focus on not just exposing them, but giving them the certifications, giving them the post-secondary access that they need to be successful. So,
way to go, MUSD.
Yeah. So it's really some exciting things there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the growth. So growth in North Marana, if you go back to 2022, our community supported a bond initiative. This was Proposition 491, and part of that bond initiative
Pretty
was,
overwhelmingly, too.
It was, yes. And if you think about that time, I mean, we were coming out of really the COVID time,
Right.
and the economy
A
was
lot of uncertainty.
in a recovery period. So some uncertainty, but our community did support us with the building of a new K-8 as a part of that project. So right here in North Marana, in fact, I think as we're recording this now, we're about 48 hours away from a groundbreaking ceremony that will take place on May 15th.
Right on.
But a new K-8 right there at Clark Farms and Mike Etter, being built really to be able to accommodate about 800 students and better position us to serve the growth that is happening in North Marana.
So from a size standpoint, does that pretty much replicate what the Gladden Farms Elementary is there on Tangerine?
Yeah, good question. So Gladden Farms Elementary is pushing about 650 to 700 students.
Okay.
We'd really like to get them back under 500, which is really what that building was originally set up to be able to serve. So this will help alleviate some of that existing
Good.
Enrollment pressure, but then also allow us, again, to plan for the future of the growth that's happening in this area.
Now, we're not going to call this Gladden Farms Elementary 2, are we?
We're not.
Okay, just making sure, because we had Gladden Farms Community and then Gladden Farms 2. I think you got to come up with a better name.
Right now the name is K-8 number 3.
Okay.
I still think we're planning to come up with a better name than that.
I hope so, Dan. I hope so.
No, I will tell you, one of the things that we did just a few weeks ago is we named the principal for the new K-8, Zach Singer, who will be coming over from Quail Run, where he currently serves as principal. And as he steps into this new role, one of the things that he'll be doing in the coming months is starting the process of naming the school, identifying the mascot, color schemes, kind of all those fun things that the community likes to get
I never
engaged
thought
with.
about all those things have to be done
It is,
by
yeah.
the principal.
Yeah.
That's some fun stuff for him to do.
So good. So the community can look forward to probably a lot of surveying and polls going out talking about what are our names, possible names for the new K-8. What are the mascots?
Yeah.
What's the color scheme going to be? So those are the things that are kind of coming here in the near future. I mean, this is something that we'll be moving on fairly quickly.
Very good. So that's going to help out a lot, having another K-8. What other things? Because I know one of the questions we've gotten a number of times, and part of it, I think, is because people know that MUSD owns some property up here, and specifically just off of Greer Road between Barnett and Greer.
Right.
And curious if there's any thoughts about a high school in this area.
Let's go to the movies. Marana Parks and Recreation presents the free Movies in Marana series on scheduled Saturdays between April and October. Movies start at sundown. Food vendors will be on site. Don't forget to bring chairs and a blanket. Visit maranaaz.gov/movies for the complete schedule.
Don't let the heat of the moment catch you off guard. Northwest Fire District Public Education Team offers a range of programs including fire and life safety community education, fire extinguisher training, car seat inspections, babysitting programs, senior safety talks, engine demonstrations, and station tours. Your well-being is our priority. For more information, visit nwfdaz.gov or call us at 520-887-1010. Together, we can create a safer and more informed community.
This summer, we're serving fun at volleyball camp. Kids ages 9 to 12 can improve passing, setting, and hitting skills, make new friends, and boost their confidence in a supportive and encouraging environment. Ace your summer and register now at maranaaz.gov/recreation.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a question that's come up a lot, and not just because of the growth here or because of that piece of property you're referencing, about 100 acres, little over 100 acres actually, that the district owns, really for the purposes of future planning for a future third comprehensive high school. But the other reason people are asking that question is quite frankly, Marana High School is closing in on capacity. And you're talking about between 2,300 and 2,400 students on that campus.
That's a large school, man.
That's a large school. That's a small city.
Yeah.
At this point out there. And certainly you're starting to feel some of the pains around that. So what does the future look like for a third high school? Certainly as we start looking forward, this is when you say North Marana, this is the part of town that you would be thinking about that third high school. But the other thing you have to think about with that is what does the funding mechanism look like for that? Building a comprehensive
You're saying
high school.
a comprehensive high school is not cheap.
Not cheap. You're going to push over about $100 million, and
wow.
That's not something that we want to solely throw at our community as part of another bond initiative, but really work closely with the state of Arizona and see if we can't qualify for some state funding looking ahead. In order for that to happen, we still need the growth to continue in North Marana. Now, we were fortunate.
We're going to help you out with that.
Well, I'm seeing dirt moving out there, so that's a positive.
A lot of houses being built.
We were fortunate this past year. We were approved for some state funding for high school programming. And this is another project that's going to open in the fall of 2025 in the Continental Ranch area. If our listeners remember that the old urgent care building off of Silver Bell Road, it's about it is a 35,000 square foot medical complex. The district owns that. And less than a year ago, we were awarded a state grant for about $12 million to remodel that building for high school programming. First of its kind project in Arizona.
Wow.
This has not been done before. The state is excited about this project as we are. They are keeping a close eye on this project because they're looking at the number of big box stores that sit empty around the state of Arizona and see this as a possible kind of vision of the future for new school construction, looking at this. So but working off of state funding, we're going to be doing some high school programming at that Silver Bell complex. That should accommodate about 400 students. And this is really back to the original question about a third comprehensive high school. This is a project that will allow us to alleviate some of the enrollment pressures at our current high schools while we wait for the population to grow up in the North Marana area to where we will qualify for additional state funding to start talking about a third comprehensive high school.
So that additional population that has to come about in order to get that funding, is there like a formula that they use? Is it kind of a, hey, just kind of eyeball it? I mean, how does that work?
There's a formula. I feel like it changes every time I talk to somebody and just kind of see where I'm standing. But
I can see that. Yeah,
there is a formula. So we watched that formula closely. Like I said, this last go around, what happened was we did apply for state funding, just try to get an idea where we were with regards to a third high school, and we qualified for about $12 million for 400 students. Well, you're not going to open a new high school for 400 students or with $12 million. $12 million won't get you very far when it comes to new school construction. But being able to get some flexibility on this project in Continental Ranch certainly is a way to meet our immediate need while we really wait to get that formula built up so that we do qualify for some state funding.
Good, excellent. Any other plans that MUSD has on the horizon, whether it's school related or other things that you guys are working toward to just really take what you're doing to the next level at MUSD? Yeah,
so let's, I mentioned earlier Proposition 491. This was the bond initiative that this community supported for $90 million. $40 million of that is the new K-8, but there was $50 million in other projects in that bond. And we just went through our second bond sale this past March. And so this is the summer where you're going to start to see a lot of activity around MUSD with regards to construction projects. In fact, I would say every school not named Dove Mountain will have some type of construction project.
Wow.
And I only say not Dove Mountain. They're the newest school.
Right.
That's where all the summer professional development is going to be happening since
Gotcha.
They don't have some of the needs that some of our older schools have. But you're going to see a lot of activity. with that regard, we've talked about one of the big projects exciting for our Twin Peaks community, a gym going on that campus. You'll start to see some ground moving with regards to that gym. So like I said, a lot of construction projects, a lot of great summer learning opportunities for our students. Summer school and summer activities are up. And I think
is that from like little kids all the way up to high schoolers, or what's the range there?
So
for
think about
summer programs?
Think about your K-12 and you think about what the town offers with regards to summer programming and what the district offers. There's really a nice opportunity for our families to connect in one of those two avenues.
Like it.
And then again, looking ahead, we're kind of at that time of the year where we're starting to solidify all of our staffing and make sure that we have a great teacher in every classroom for our students when they come back to us this August.
How's that going for you guys? Hiring is difficult right now across the board, and I know it's difficult for places to find teachers, but how's that going for MUSD right now?
Yeah, it's a great question because when you talk about a teacher shortage, this is a national conversation.
Yes, it is.
And it's happening all over the place. And we're not immune to that. We're having our own challenges in that regard. But I will say maybe not to the level that some of our neighboring districts are. And a big part of that, to be honest, is this community. Is when you look at the symbiotic relationship that exists between the school district and the town, right? And that connectedness. Prospective teachers see that, and they're looking for communities that are supportive of education, and that you're seeing that in Marana. So that's definitely a big selling point for us when we're out talking to candidates is, hey, this is a place where the town is connected to the school district. This is a place that did support a voter initiative just a couple of years ago. This is a place where you have members of the school district interacting with the town, whether it's through different civic committees or the Chamber of Commerce, and vice versa. You have members of the town, members of the business community who are parents in our schools. And when you have those connections, what you do is you create really a place where people feel supported. And that's something that we really push when we're going through that recruitment process.
Yeah, and people are jonesing for that kind of an environment where they feel supported, appreciated. And I know a number of teachers that work in MUSD, and they feel very much supported and appreciated by the MUSD organization as a whole, and I think by the community as a whole as well. So now, Vic always loves it when I talk about sports. And she's a sports fanatic. She can't help herself.
I kind of got that based on this long list of topics related to sports that are on this list. My page is blank, but I don't know. Maybe you have the master copy. I could be exaggerating a little bit, but
Nonetheless, I thought this was kind of cool, and so I think it's a neat story to talk about. But Marana High School had a football player who got drafted in the first round of the NFL draft. Now, Vic was really stoked about that. I watched the NFL draft, and when his name got called, I thought, that is amazing. That is so cool. I mean, how's that been for the school? They got to be so excited.
Yeah, I too was watching the draft, and when Jordan was picked, there was a text string that was flying around, and people are picking up their Green Bay Packers gear. So we're you got that blue and gold. You're going to start seeing some more green and gold, I think, in the community.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I think. We talked about this at the beginning, right? It's student achievement, but it's student opportunities, and part of that is extracurricular and co-curricular in those activities that you offer. And so when you have former students who had success on the athletic fields or on the stage or in the band competitions, and they go on to post-secondary and continue to have success. And go out into the professional ranks, it's something that you're proud of, and it's something that you certainly celebrate and you shout from the rooftops to make sure that people know that,
hey,
this is a future that you can have here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. Well, great story, and good for Jordan and his whole family. I'm sure they're very excited. I heard he actually was out at the high school a few weeks back, a day or two after the draft, and with some of the team members, and So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and we've certainly seen him on a Friday night sideline from time to time. Maybe not so much going forward, as the distance is a little bit further than it has been the last 4 years.
A little bit further away, and he's going to be pretty busy with rookie camp, so no question. So, Dr. Streeter, so appreciate you being on the show with us again. Are there any things that you'd like to talk about in closing?
No, I want to thank the community for their continued support. Certainly, things are happening fast, especially when you talk about a new K-8 opening in the fall of 25, new high school programming in the fall of 25, and would encourage any of the listeners here, if questions come up or there's something that you were hoping to get even from this conversation that maybe wasn't answered for you, please reach out to the school district, contact us, and we'd be more than happy to answer those questions. Our website is going to be a tremendous source of information going forward. As you start to drive by the site of the new K-8, you'll notice in the coming weeks, you'll notice some banners around that site with a QR code that you'll be able to scan and get live camera footage of what's happening on that site, but then also get some updates on how construction is going.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Dr. Streeter, and thank you, listeners, for joining us once again. You heard from Dr. Streeter about MUSD and all the great things that are going on there. Highly responsive and respectable organization, and I know we're all very proud of what they do day in and day out. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time. Submit your questions by visiting maranaaz.gov/realtalk, and we'll answer them right here. To receive notifications for new releases, remember to click subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Also, please follow the town on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date on current news and events.